ladies and gentlemen, these folks that rule and their children and offspring and their offspring and their offspring and their offspring are by far the dumbest people on the earth. And they try to smarten themselves up by saying they have a high IQ, which doesn't exist at all. But see, there are many things coming out that's telling the story about who is smart and really applying themselves and who's not. See, you can quash a lot of this cheating if you didn't allow them the preparation time. Seriously, if you want to see how well they can write an essay, don't give them the topic and don't give them the time. When they show up in class, tell them they have to write an essay on the spot and turn it in before they leave. You will see very quickly how much they really don't belong in that college at all. Too dumb to be there. But we're able to cheat, lie, and use the intelligence of others, especially Black people, use the intelligence of Black people to get into college. Now, if the IQs were so high, wouldn't it be the opposite way? Wouldn't the Black students be going to them to get things done? How come that's not happening? How come it's happening in the opposite? You got the Western, white, UK, and US students going to Kenya, finest, brightest, and best, to get their papers written. How come it's happening in the opposite direction? See, those people in Kenya are smart. And you notice the ones that really, truly are smart are not boasting about no high IQ. See, people that boast about high IQs are the dumbest people on the earth. Those are your dumb people. They're dumb. Their kids are dumb. Their grandkids are dumb. They're all dumb. It's a damn shame when you still got to go to the Black man to get the real work done. Let's get into this story. Daily Nation, October 26, 2019. Sad tale of top Kenyan brains earning a living by cheating. And who's going to those those Kenyans? Who's going to them? That's one thing about us in the Black community. We don't have thousands of dollars to pay someone so that we can cheat. We don't have that. And when you see us in college, we really truly got there from hard work and studying. We don't have any Black parents with $500,000 and $15,000 and whatever, $100,000 to give to some scammer to get our children into college. So when we get in there, it's really on merit. And when we graduate, it's really on merit. These others, these Asians and whites and East Indians and all of these other people, Arabs, they can't say the same. See, the only thing they can do is perpetrate a fraud by sitting in your face telling you how stupid you are. But at the same time, we are getting all of this real, true information on the forefront that shows contrary to what they've been saying. They are the real dumb ones. And like I said to y'all, the cheating do not stop at the college level. These folks cheat on jobs. They literally cheat their way through life. Everything they got to cheat. And don't you find it odd that a person that already got everything in this society in their favor and they still can't make it unless they're cheating? Woo, you some dumbass mofos. But let's get into this. One of the saddest stories I have read this week was published by BBC News Africa on the Kenyan ghostwriters doing lazy Western students' work. Europe and America and Canada and all the places that the high IQ people are. They got to go to someone black to get the job done, y'all. Just like they had to come to the black man to build a nation. But according to them, they are just the smartest thing ever. It showed up on this planet, which makes no sense, by the way. If you are the last group to show up, there is no way you came with all the intelligence. All that intelligence came long before you showed up. Okay, that would only make sense. But the way y'all trying to tell the story, it doesn't even make any common sense. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's just like when they look into outer space and they found this and that stuff was found millions of years ago. These folks didn't find nothing. The Dogon had the entire map of the universe without a telescope. They can't see shit without satellites, telescopes, computers. But they claim they are the smartest. They can't see shit without all kinds of gadgets. The Dogon had nothing but their two eyes and had a perfect map of the universe. Come on, y'all. You cannot believe these Johnny come latelys are the smartest on there. You just can't believe that. You cannot believe that, y'all. They are showing you stuff that the Dogon saw probably millions of years ago. We've been on this earth forever. These Johnny come latelys can't even trace themselves beyond 6,000 years. But when they came on the earth, they're everything. They're the natives. They're the Egyptians. They're everything. Woo, that don't even make any sense. They civilized. They know the planet was civilized long before they showed up. And anybody that's got to go to college and cheat their way all the way through college didn't civilize anything, y'all. This should really tell the story right there. Anybody that's got to cheat their way into college and then buy all kinds of papers to cheat their way through college did not civilize this earth. And then on top of that, you had to write your own test to prove that you are smart. You had to write your own test. These folks didn't civilize nothing. They didn't civilize. People that cheat didn't civilize anything, y'all. And I'm going to say this again. Anybody that is ruling now do not have the capacity to take us into the future. This is why everything they do still got all kinds of ties to the past to it. All they do is represent the past. They do the same thing and say all of the same things their forefathers do. They don't represent the future. They are indeed the past. They are the past. The story details a young Kenyan woman, Gail, is eking out a living from writing school assignments and term papers for lazy, rich college kids in the US, UK, and other countries in what Gail terms as a symbolic relationship. So these white Western nation children that really have no business and not smart enough to be in college are going to Black people in Africa to do their homework assignments, to do their term papers. And this is rampant, y'all. These companies that are set up to write all of these term papers, they are multi-millionaires doing this stuff for these dumb children that's going to graduate from college and be your boss. They gonna graduate from college, y'all, get into a corporation, and you, who's doing all the hard work, they gonna come in there with their dumb, unknowing asses and be your boss. That's how this society is set up. Woo, that's fucked up. She gets at least $320, 32,000 a month, enough to pay rent and buy food, and the lazy rich kids get their degrees and waltz into Western job markets. That's right. Dumb as a doorknob. Dumb. They will go into these job markets, and because of the color of their skin, they'll get elevated on these jobs and pushed into positions they really don't belong in. Now I understand why so many of these corporations are always failing and losing money. They got dumb people running it. Pick up a Wall Street Journal, y'all. I know I told you this before in the past, and look at how much money these corporations lose in a quarter, in 6 months, in a fiscal year. Look at how much they lose. These corporations, some of them be losing $1 billion in a quarter, $200 million in a quarter. But they get to insist they're smart and tell you, Black man, woman, and child, that you don't know how to run nothing. They be losing all this money and tell you you don't know how to run nothing. And at the same time, they know damn well they did not legitimately work their way through college and didn't legitimately work their way into that job in corporate America. They didn't earn any damn thing. They cheated every step of the way. And that's the same person in your face. My uncle is an executive. Yeah, well, I bet you your uncle cheated his way from college all the way up to that position. That's usually how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't get it legitimately. Now they'll perpetrate a fraud and tell you they did. But when you see stuff like this, you know damn well they didn't get any of them high positions legitimately. It is not a new story, really. Western media is awash with stories on how Kenya has become the hotbed of essay writing factories in which jobless Kenyan students with a great command of English and slowly but steadily help Western lazy students earn their degrees, one essay at a time. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who the real dumb ones are in this country, then nothing is going to convince you. Anything, anything that looks like them that's in college is cheating. But they'll sit in your face. My kid really earned their way in college. No, they didn't. They in there cheating just like everybody else. So it's not a new story, really. No, it's not. That is so true. It's not. This has been going on, y'all, forever. And if they do something about this, ladies and gentlemen, you are really going to get a picture of how dumb their kids are. Now, didn't they always boast in this nation that they get the better education than the kids in the inner city? But yet, how come we're not hearing about the kids in the inner city doing all this cheating in college? The ones that make it there. There's a lot that make it to college. How come they're not caught up in these scandals? How come we don't see them buying from Kenya? They wouldn't. They couldn't anyway. They would just sit down, get the books, and figure it out on their own. That's usually what our kids do. Okay, so Kenyan, so pretty much Kenyan students are the smartest students on earth. I always knew that anyway. That was the case when I was going to school. The students from Africa and places like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, virtually in many places in Africa, they always outperform both the white and the Asian students that they prop up in this country as the smartest. Well, those African students have always been the smartest. And if you look over in the UK, the smartest people are classified as the Africans. They are not the white UK man, woman, and child. It's the ones that are there that are African descent. They are classified as the smartest in the UK. I mean, the signs are all there that these folks are not the smartest. All you got to do is pay attention. That's all you got to do. All right, so back to the story. Heck, we even made it to the Gray Lady, the mighty New York Times, with an in-depth story and a brilliant, cheeky headline to match Cheating Inc. Cheating in Western college is so rampant that Kenyan entrepreneurs have set up small companies and consortiums of writers who work day and night to ensure a dumb Western kid somewhere in Illinois graduates on time. My grandfather worked hard for what he got. No, your grandfather came here and cheated. Your grandfather came to a country that was set up for people like him to excel in. Your grandfather, nobody checked behind your grandfather and everything that your alleged grandfather did. Your grandfather came here and cheated his way to the top, just like the rest of your forefathers did. They didn't work hard in anything. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, their offspring does not work hard in anything either. This is why I'm telling you, these people are very much indeed their forefathers of the past. They came to cheat. It has minted millionaires parched on penthouse offices in Kenyatta Avenue, who not only offer essay writing services to Western dumb kids, but also academic consultancy services to local master's and PhD students who are too lazy to write their own research papers. You hear that? So it is not only the students achieving a bachelor's degree, it is also students getting master's degrees and PhDs that are going to Black people over in Kenya to get their real college work done. And then putting on a face in class as if they have worked hard and deserve to be there. Ooh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Loving it. Still got to go to the Black man to get the real work. they're doing the same thing their forefathers did. They got to go to the black man to get the real work, get the real work done. Woo! Some things never change, y'all. Some things never, ever, ever change. Academic fraud. While this story is essentially about academic fraud and how it eventually plays into professional integrity, the real story here, the ones we are all ignoring, is many Kenyan youth who have become so desperate in life as a resort to such ways of earning a living. But they wouldn't have to resort to that if dumb people that are perpetrating a fraud by labeling themselves smart with high IQs wouldn't be hiring these people. And it just goes to show you, these Kenyans and Nigerians and the ones that really truly are smart, these are the ones that really should be leading the world. The melanated people should be leading the world because they are the ones with the real true knowledge. And these dummies that are running it and labeling themselves as smart, they have no business being in power. The people they're running to, those are the ones they should have in power. And when they are falling apart, they always come running to the melanated people. Whenever they are falling apart historically, they always come running to the melanated people. And this is recorded in history. Whenever they had to fight wars in America, who did they come get for the Revolutionary War, the Civil War? Who did they have fighting in their wars? Who did they have fighting in all of their wars with them? Who did they have, y'all? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Y'all know what I'm saying. And why do you think there were so many Black domestic workers raising their children, cleaning their homes, and doing all that stuff? You know why? They didn't have a clue to how to do those things. They didn't know how to do those things at all. They had to bring in those domestic workers, or otherwise those kids would have ran all over them. They didn't know how to do them things on their own. They had to bring those Black women into the household to bring order to their household. They didn't have order to their household at all until those domestic workers went in there and brought the order in with them. Go look at movies like Ray. Whenever work had to be done, remember his mother was washing clothes for white people. She was washing clothes for white people. And that was another rampant thing that was done post-slavery. Again, who rebuilt the South after the Civil War? These folks were doped out. They were alcoholics. And there's no way, when you read the history, they could have rebuilt the South. They used the convict lease program where they have arrested a whole bunch of Black men. And that is how the South got rebuilt, ladies and gentlemen. When things are falling apart, they come to yours truly to get the work done. The convict lease program. Black men that were locked up and serving time probably for a bunch of shit they didn't do, because they still do that to this very day. They got you serving time for shit you never did in the first place, okay? And those were the men that rebuilt the South after the Civil War. And if these folks tell you otherwise, they're lying. The same people that were enslaved are the same ones that rebuilt the South after the Civil War, ladies and gentlemen. The same ones. That was the only way it would have really, truly got done. These folks are the laziest people to ever rule on the planet, and they're the dumbest to ever rule. So let's get back into this story. I promise you, these young Kenyans do not like one bit what they are doing. Nobody slaves through nearly 5 years of engineering school only to spend their youthful work years writing term papers on euthanasia. They do it because there is nothing else to do. And again, these are the people that really should have the top jobs, ladies and gentlemen. And them writing and doing these difficult papers for PhDs and master's degree shows you who the real leaders should be on this planet. And the ones that are getting it written for them, they have no business leading anything. They shouldn't even be leading a dog pound. They are doing this because there is nothing else to do. And this should be the story we need to interrogate. This is some mess here, y'all. This is truly, truly some mess. We need to know why young and educated Kenyans, brilliant to a fault, are taking up menial, demeaning jobs. Yeah. You know why? Because what they do to shut you out of the system is not hire you, not give you a chance. And then all of these college cheating Western dummies from the US, Canada, and Europe are getting all of the opportunities they really, truly don't deserve. They're getting opportunities they don't deserve. They're getting positions they don't deserve to be in. That's why. Don't hire you. Even here, you know how many times I've ran into Black men and women that got college degrees and they are working at Walmart. They are driving for Uber and Lyft. They are doing DoorDash and Grubhub. A lot. They purposely shut you out and hire these dumb, undeserving college graduates that are getting their college paper from Africans, and they are giving them the experience and jobs right out of college, and they don't deserve none of it. You can see they are not worthy of having any of those things. And they purposely shut out the ones that really didn't cheat their way through school and worked hard. But they get shut out on purpose, and they have to pick up and take remedial jobs that they're really way more intelligent. And they really could do those jobs that they're being shut out of. That's how they've always done it, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have more intelligence than you. They just get more opportunity than you do. That's the difference. They get opportunities they clearly, as you can see, don't deserve. They don't deserve it. But man, I am so glad these articles are now coming out. I am just so glad. These folks have stuck their noses up for way too long, trying to proclaim intelligence that they clearly don't have. So they are doing assignments for Western college kids and getting blamed for fueling cheating in Western colleges. No, your cheating children should be taking the whole brunt of the blame. First of all, it proves they're dumb, and college is not where they should be. They're taking up seats and time of somebody a lot more deserving than them in the US, UK, Canada, and all of these nations with alleged high IQs. These Kenyans with degrees in economics, engineering, literature, and mathematics, who are supposed to use their knowledge and competencies to help us navigate the fourth industrial revolution, yet their intellect is misused to help American kids get through college. Exactly. Yeah. See, these are really the ones that should be in the leading positions. That's all this is showing us, ladies and gentlemen. Race card. I don't want to play this ain't no race card. These Western nations with high IQs are really dumb. It is just it's the truth. They're dumb. And jobless Kenyans are the ones that are sitting around and really should be the ones with the high paying jobs. They really should be. It should be the opposite of what we're seeing. These young Kenyans who were sold the Kenyan dream to go to school, take your studies seriously, earn that degree, and we will give you a job. Their only crime was to follow the straight and narrow path, and the government of Kenya failed them. Yeah, and the government of these Western nations, where many of them go to school, also failed them. You see, they want the foreign student money, and then they will neglect these smarter students when it comes time for graduation. They will ignore them. See, just like me doing this video, y'all, they won't see the true nature of their dumbness, but they will see me insulting them and saying it's hate speech when I'm only telling the truth. The smartest students on the planet are Africans. They are. Okay, all right, so now highly educated in a country where 78% of the population is age below 35. Yes, because Africa is the population in those countries are definitely younger because they are still reproducing. That's why they have a nation of people under the age of 35. But here in the US, their biggest populations are elderly people. The biggest population in Asian countries are elderly people. And you will see this too. This is also a pattern. When you see a much younger nation and the population is younger, that population is usually smarter. They are. And when you see all of these other nations with a population of a bunch of elderly people, those nations are usually slower, less intelligent. Look, you even got Donald Trump that told you his IQ was pretty high. And his parents had to pay his way through everything. So, we need to ask the Kenyan government some hard questions like, why do you have highly educated young people like Gail resorting to writing first year assignments for $25 a piece? These are young people who have been cheated out of the system. Exactly. They've been cheated out of the system, not only in their own countries, but really around the world. Because remember, you have a lot of these highly intelligent Africans that live right here in the US, and they outperform both white and Asian students. But when it comes time to giving out these high positions, you see the plantation mentality in America. Everybody at the top white, everybody else at the bottom white. They got a plantation mentality. That's what I call the plantation mentality, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so they've been cheated out of the system really everywhere. And shut out of the market. So these dumb kids that really don't deserve it end up with the jobs and the good income that they truly did not earn. Okay. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, they have to run to melanated people to get the real work done. What a shame. But these stories must come out and they must be told every time one of them try to raise up their voice babbling about a high IQ. We must tell these stories, ladies and gentlemen, and they must be told over and over and over and over and over and over. Give me 1 second here. All right, y'all, this is what I wanted to show you. I want you to look at these articles, and I'm leading to something, so follow me on this. The Igbo Nigerians are the smartest blacks in the UK. These folks are ranked as number one in intelligence in the UK. It is not the white Brits, it's not the Asians, it's not the Arabs, it's none of them. The smartest and most intelligent people in the UK are the Africans. They rank number one as the smartest. And I want you to look at Igbos, because the Igbos are Israelites, ladies and gentlemen. See, there are a lot of things on this earth these folks don't ever want you to piece together. So follow me on this one. Blacks, especially Igbos, prove more intelligent than whites, including the Asian outliers. Last but not least, who did they bring over here as slaves? Who did they bring over here as slaves? The Igbo people and the effect of Atlantic slave trade. I want you to start reading who they brought over here. These slaves that they grabbed and brought over here were the most intelligent people on the face of the earth. These people have perpetrated the biggest fraud ever. You already had established societies that you were living in that were very much civilized. These folks, they couldn't civilize an ant. They're not even civilized themselves. If you want to see how civilized they are, look at how their cops conduct themselves on the street. Does that look civilized to anybody? They're not even civilized themselves. Look at the teachers that are in front of our Black children every single day. They're pedophiles. The teachers in America are pedophiles. And they get to stand in front. This is why we see these white female teachers from the beginning of the school year all the way to the end going down for pedophilia. But these folks are in front of your children teaching. They have no business teaching anything. Anytime you got to buy a college paper and buy your assignments, and that's how you get your way through college, you have no business being in really any industry out here. But read about who they brought over here as slaves, and you're going to see Igbo, Igbo, Igbo all over the place. Isn't that amazing? You didn't need to be civilized, ladies and gentlemen. They are the ones that need to be tamed. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. and I'll see you on the next video. And the next time they try to tell you you sold your own people into slavery, you let them know all over Europe they sold their own people into slavery. It's fact. Peace, family.